Using Ikea wooden salad bowls for DIY projects has been so popular, so I thought I'd try one for myself to make an accent table with my original design. There are some tips and tricks I want to share, not just gluing them all together. So, stay tuned.
Hi guys, it's Maki. I'm an interior designer and a musician. Let's just dive into the materials and tools that I used for this project. The links to all the products are in the description.
The Ikea salad bowls. I used the largest one, 4 of them. Construction adhesive. Please do not use hot glue gun for making furniture. It'll likely to collapse. Plywood. Electric sander. Getting an electric sander was a game changer for me. I strongly recommend getting one if you often do woodworking projects. I've seen so many DIYers use a jigsaw to cut a round shape, but if you look at their result very closely, they are not really perfectly round, unfortunately. And sanding does not really make a perfect round either. A router is a proper tool to cut a circle shape. This compact router is only about $70 and even professional woodworkers recommend this one, and I'm very happy that I purchased this. Paint. I used Behr's basketry, and the sample size was enough for this project. Decorative glaze. Decorative glaze is used to add an antique finish to a painted surface. I use this to create faux wooden grains. Paintbrush and also cleaning brush. Wood veneer edge banding. Wood filler. Paint remover. I started off by removing the stain from the salad bowls. I poured generous amount of paint remover and spread it with a brush. You could actually just sand it to remove the stain, but it'll take hours, so I recommend using remover first. After leaving it for about 15 minutes, I started scraping the remover. They recommend using plastic scraper, but for a round surface like this, I found it was easier to do with a rough surface of a dish sponge soaked with mineral spirit. I was honestly a bit freaked out when the salad bowl started having red stain, but it was completely gone when they got dried the next day. Then I sanded the salad bowl. I was going to stack 3 salad bowls facing down, 1 salad bowl facing up, then put the tabletop on the top. I needed 1 large circle plywood to use as the tabletop and 2 small ones to fill the bottom of the salad bowls. I want to show you the quick tutorial how to use it. First, take off the cover from the body by opening the lever. The router comes with 4 different bits. Use the straight bit to cut a circle shape. Put the bit into the hole, pushing the button on the side. Tighten the screw first with fingers, then with the wrench. If you don't push this button, both the bit and the screw keep spinning and it won't be tightened. Then put the cover on the body again. There's this jagged line on the body and there's this little gear on the cover. Align them together so that the cover will slide in. This cover can actually set up the depth of the bit. Adjust the depth and close the cover. You need to attach this tool to the body when you cut a circle shape. You just simply loosen the screw on the side of the body. Align the tool and the bottom of the body, then tighten the screw. I already cut the plywood few inches bigger than the diameter of a circle and measured the center of the plywood. Then screwed all the corners of the plywood to another leftover plywood to prevent from cutting the table underneath. I measured the length from the bit to the screw hole. This length is the radius of the circle. I screwed the router to the center of the plywood, then I started cutting. As I set the depth of the bit a little too deep and went a little too fast, the plywood got burned a little bit, so I recommend setting up minimum depth and cut it slowly with minimum speed. I put the circle into the salad bowl to see if the size was good, and it was just the right size. Then I cut another circle for the tabletop. I wanted to make it a bit smaller than the circle board I had, and also a bit bigger than the salad bowl. So I measured both sides and cut it kind of in the middle. To glue the circle and the salad bowl, I used construction adhesive. Construction adhesive is like sticky paste and it can fill little gaps, so in this case it works better than wood glue. To stack the salad bowls, while the adhesive is still wet, I roughly measured the length from the edge of the bottom to the salad bowl on top and moved it around so that the bowl can be placed in the center. I stacked another salad bowl, then glued another salad bowl facing up. This is actually the part I failed. I first applied dark walnut gel stain. The reason why I chose gel stain over oil stain is because I wasn't sure about the material of the salad bowl. The color of oil stain would look different depending on the material, and it sometimes shows grain too much. So to avoid that, I chose gel stain instead of oil stain. I wanted to lighten the color, so right after I applied gel stain, I wiped it with mineral spirit. But it became mottled like this, probably because I put mineral spirit a little too much. So I decided to paint and make faux wood surface later. Before that, I put veneer edge banding made of real wood on the side of the tabletop. It's very easy to use, you just need to iron it. After ironing it, I trimmed it on the back side of the tabletop with a craft knife. Of course, you don't see it from the top, but if you didn't trim it, it could be the cause of crack. You don't have to trim it perfectly straight as you can sand off the jagged parts later. I applied the wood filler on the tiny gaps between the veneer and the tabletop. This wood filler does not soak oil stain, so if you're using oil stain, please use stainable wood filler. I'll leave the link in the description. After that, I sanded the tabletop. Then I applied primer. Painting with brush create textures. I wanted to make faux wood grain horizontally later, so I moved brush that way. After I let it dry for a couple of hours, I applied the paint. The color I chose is Bear's Basketry. After I let it dry for a day, I applied the decorative glaze. I've seen this technique in other YouTubers' videos, and their glaze looked a little messy on the edge. So I taped masking tape on the edge of the tabletop and tried to move the brush from the middle to the edge. I first applied it with a paintbrush. The glaze doesn't really sink into the painted surface. It starts looking smudged right away. Then I used a cleaning brush. I also tapped the paintbrush to create more realistic wood grain. The glaze starts to kind of dry after a few minutes. That was when I applied another coat. The glaze dripped into the masking tape a bit, but it was better than nothing. I peeled off the masking tape before the glaze got completely dried and wiped it off with baby wipe. I repeated the same process on the leg part. I really enjoyed creating faux wood surface. It's really like painting an art. It's totally up to you how much grain you want to create, but I recommend creating light parts and dark parts. After I let it dry for a day, I glued the tabletop and the leg together.
Before you see the result, if you like the video so far, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Your one click makes me feel so happy and motivated to make more videos like this. And I would like to say thank you so much for the people who already did. Because of your help, very recently I was able to reach my first goal, 1,000 subscribers. That made me feel so happy and I can't thank you enough. And I will continue to make great videos for you all.
Alright, here is the result. I'm in love with my creation. When I showed it to my son and told him it wasn't a real wood surface, I painted it. He rounded his eyes and said, "No way! How?" It was actually good that the stain didn't work, because I didn't really like the salad bowl was made with small pieces of wood, but now it looks like it was made with a big chunk of wood, which is super cool.
Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye!